What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here. Welcome back to a brand new video. I'll get to my breakdown and explain a video for the Chucky episode 8 and a Fair to Dismember trailer. So the trailer begins with Nica on top of Tiffany. This is most likely going to be during a fight between the two where Nica overpowers Tiffany. And now I'm not 100% sure in this scene if we are seeing actually Nica and then she's trying to kill or stab Tiffany, or if this is actually Chucky trying to stab, Tiffany, which I don't doubt this is the case, since obviously Tiffany and Chucky don't have exactly the, ideal relationship or the perfect relationship. So this could be Chucky attacking Nica, or this could be Chucky attacking Tiffany, or it can be Nica attacking Tiffany. Which obviously, if it's Nica attacking Tiffany, it makes perfect sense, since obviously, Tiffany's kind of taken Nica, pretty much hostage, and has pretty much kept her against her will inside this house, and obviously has practically ruined her life. But before Nica can stab Tiffany, she does look over to the table, and she does see a Chucky doll sitting right on the table, which I'm assuming why this distracts Nica from, actually stabbing Tiffany. I'm actually not 100% sure why this distracts her. Maybe the Chucky doll does say something maybe it says its iconic phrase where it's Heidi Hohen or anything, we're the friends to the end, or maybe it does say something in Chucky's voice to maybe trigger Nica back into the, Chucky's spell. But this will be very interesting to see, Tiffany versus Nica finally, because obviously there's been a certain tension building up between the two during the season, with obviously Nica constantly breaking out the Chucky spell and obviously want to get the fuck out of there and obviously find help and get Tiffany and Chucky all taken down. And now I'm not 100% sure if this fight will take place in front of Devon, because it did look like he was in a bit of a different place in the ending of episode 7. So if this is in front of Devon or anything, maybe Devon breaks Nica out of the spell after she obviously ties him to the chair, and obviously he sees that ocean of Chucky dolls, or maybe this is not in front of Devon and maybe Devon's completely tied up somewhere else where all the Chucky dolls are being held up. I did forget to mention this is obviously most likely taking place in Tiffany and Chucky's house. So this is me while editing this video, and after I did finish recording this video, I did decide to take a look at the trailer they released on Twitter, which is usually a more clearer kind of trailer to watch rather than the ones that are posted on YouTube. And I did notice during this shot, you can actually see someone next to the Chucky doll that's watching as Nica's on top of Tiffany, and telling by the outfit of this person, it is a 110% Junior that's staying next to this Chucky doll, because it's the same outfit that he had on in episode 7. And this is gonna be so fucking cool to see him, finally meeting, he already met Tiffany, but to see, Tiffany after he did the deed of killing his father, and how he'll be meeting Nica in that entire situation, which I'm really interested to see those three. And obviously Chucky will be on that scene, so I guess you'd say those four in that scene. But I do wonder how Junior will get out of the house after he, obviously killed his dad, because obviously Andy shows up to his house, so I wonder what's gonna go on in that entire thing. Now in the next scene, we get Lexy and Jake talking to Kyle, and basically during the scene, Lexy does question Kyle by basically saying, so Chucky can split his souls into other dolls, which I'm assuming Kyle's basically telling Lexy and Jake the reason of why her and Andy are on this kind of cross-country doll-killing road trip, which is obviously to take out all the dolls that were spawned in after Cult of Chucky, when Chucky basically started transferring his soul into multiple dolls. And this is probably going to be where Lexy and Jake and Kyle are all having that talk on that's why we're here, that's why we're here to stop all this before it gets much worse, and there's much more Chuckies than we can handle, which obviously telling by the end of episode 7, there are a fucking fuck ton of dolls. And also during this scene, it's very interesting to see that Kyle is talking to Lexy and Jake, because that means Andy, as we did see in the end of episode 7, is at Junior's house, which obviously we will most likely get a Kyle, Jake, and Lexy kind of team up in the beginning of the episode, and then we will end up getting a Andy versus Junior and Chucky, which will be very fucking awesome in my opinion to see that fight break out between the three. But I do wonder how Kyle did find Jake and Lexy's address, since obviously Andy knew to go to Junior's house, but I do wonder how he knew how to, or how Kyle knew how to get to Jake and Lexy and where they are now. And just in general, this is a fucking awesome meeting. It does confirm that we're gonna get eventually Jake meeting Andy, which is gonna be really cool, and seeing him already meet Kyle is really cool. Now in the next shot, we do get Chucky basically bursting through some bubble wrap, or I'm assuming something fixing up a house. And obviously the only house that we do know that that needs fixing up is Lexy's house. I'm assuming this is gonna be the doll that woke up inside of Lexy's house after Jake did bring it towards Lexy's house and basically tried convincing her that no, this is just a normal doll and everything. But now that Kyle has notified Jake and Lexy that, like, you know, Chucky could transfer his soul into multiple dolls, and now this doll is starting to wake up, I'm assuming there's gonna be a Jake, Lexy, and Kyle versus this one Chucky doll in that house, since obviously after, like, you know, that whole end of episode 7, this doll is now awakening, or pretty much has awakened already, and this doll in this scene looks fucking awesome because he looks so devious and just so fucking like scary, which is something that I do feel this series has been lacking a little bit, is like, you know, a genuinely terrifying Chucky doll, and this doll looks fucking awesome with, like, you know, its devious and terrifying smile lifting up, like, you know, the knife. And also how I can tell that this is like, you know, Lexy's house, besides the fact that obviously it's in repairs, is the fact that if you do go back to the Jake, Lexy, and Kyle shot, there does look to be this kind of bubble wrap around the house or around them, so this will obviously, like, you know, take place in that house, and it'll be a Kyle, Jake, and Lexy versus this one Chucky doll fight and everything. And I'm assuming we'll spawn a thought in Jake's head, like, holy shit, this means there are much more out there that could, like, you know, spawn this entire cult. Next, we do get to see the absolute fucking storm, hurricane, tsunami of Chucky dolls, with the one Chucky doll obviously staying in front of them, basically saying kill them all, which might be like talking about Andy, Kyle, Jake, Devon, and Lexy, and all of them, or this can be talking about the general hack and sack or the world, like it's like, you know, kill everyone you see, and, like, you know, they'll all be sent off to different locations to kill people. And I'm assuming this is the general original OG Chucky, or not like, you know, the OG one, since obviously Chucky's transferred between multiple dolls across the entire franchise of movies and obviously the series, but I'm assuming this is the doll that was in front of Junior or was helping Junior kill his father. I'm assuming this is that one in front of this entire group, instructing them on what to do. And obviously this group of dolls is in the exact same room, I'm assuming, as Devon, as telling by the end of episode 7, when basically Devon was staring at that ocean of Chucky dolls, or I'm sorry, more so good guy dolls. And I'm assuming this will be like the entire planning scene of Chucky's, like, you know, one big bad endgame plan, which obviously is going to come to fruition or anything, and basically is going to happen in this episode, which I really can't wait to see what the general big plan endgame is. But it is really cool to see this, like, you know, fucking thousands, or not thousands, but at least hundreds of good guy dolls and everything. And I do think I do see some more spots, some different looking good guy dolls in this crowd, which is obviously like a callback, kind of, I guess you'd say, to Cult of Chucky, how there was, like, you know, tons of different variations of Chucky with, like, you know, some looking really fucked up. We do also get to see Devon tied up and obviously duct taped to a chair, which we did get to see in the end of episode 7, but now it does look like one of the Chucky dolls is very up close to Devon and is basically talking to him, most likely, like, you know, laying down his plan on what he's gonna do and everything. Maybe he's about to kill Devon, or maybe he's taunting Devon about, like, how he's gonna kill, like, you know, Jake, Lexy, and all of them, and maybe even, like, you know, taunting him about his mom, because Devon does look kind of teary-eyed in the scene and everything, and very, like, you know, worried, obviously, because of obviously the thousands of Chucky dolls. But this could be a scene in which Chucky does end up, like, you know, starting to hurt Devon, and maybe this is even a part of Chucky's endgame plan, is to obviously kill Devon as a part of that to get back at Jake, or maybe even Junior's with them in this scene, because so far we have not seen Junior yet in this trailer, and it makes you think, well, where is he gonna be in this episode? A lot of people have theorized that he will get arrested in, like, you know, the season finale for obviously the murder of his father, and obviously being framed for maybe the other murders, which I think is a really interesting idea. Although I do want to see Junior a part of that big endgame fight and even possibly get killed. We then do get to see a house explosion, or at least a huge fire. Yeah, more of some explosion break down this house. And now I know a lot of people dog on me for not knowing which house is which, but I do think this is either Junior or Lexy's house. Which obviously, if it's Junior's house, maybe, like, you know, Junior and Chucky trap Andy inside the house and everything and explode the house and trap him inside of it. And maybe this is a part of the Junior and Chucky and, like, you know, versus Andy fight. Or this could be the Kyle, Lexy, and Jake fight and everything, where they're basically fighting off against that doll, which will be really fucking cool no matter whose fight this is, to see this, like, you know, general huge explosion and them obviously trying to get out and, like, you know, fight the Chucky dolls or good guy dolls. There's also a scene where we do get to see a Chucky doll basically opening a window and looking out. Now this could be the exact same scene in which we did get to see, like, you know, Andy in the end of episode 7 coming up to Junior's house and looking in the windows, and obviously Chucky and Junior also looking out the window at him, saying now the real fun begins, or now this is when the real plan comes into play. And I do wonder if this is the exact same, like, you know, situation in house where the doll is looking outside at Andy. Maybe this is, like, you know, when Andy's knocking at the door and then the Chucky doll just opens the thing, and or the good guy doll opens the thing and just starts looking at him and taunting him. Or this could be a completely different situation, since it does look like there's a little bit of light bouncing off this good guy doll. So maybe this is, like, you know, him looking inside the house as it's exploding, maybe looking in at Andy. I don't know. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comments on what you guys do think is going on in this scene. We then get Junior talking to what I do believe is either Kyle or Devon, because I'm not sure whose shirt this is in the scene, or like, whose like, face it is, because it might be Devon, although like, telling about the shirt and everything, or it could be Kyle, because I'm not sure if this is 100% maybe a leather jacket, which obviously Kyle has on a leather jacket in episode 7 and wears one in general, but it does look like Jake is in what maybe is Devon's room, because obviously like, the horror movie and like, horror and like, crime drama or crime posters on the wall behind him, and if this is Devon's room and he is talking to Devon, that does mean that Devon will either escape and like, tell like, Jake about like, the multiple Chuckies, although Kyle does notify Jake of the multiple Chuckies, so I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe Jake and Lexy and Kyle go to save Devon from that like, inevitability of him possibly dying or getting killed by the Chucky dolls, because Jake does say in this scene that those like, the Chucky dolls could be anywhere, which obviously could be meaning towards like in the ocean of Chuckies that he does maybe see when he's like, saving Jake, or saving Devon, sorry. Or maybe Devon does tell like, Jake about like, the whole doll situation, like the thousands of dolls situation, like of them possibly going like, rogue on a hack and sack. Or this could be Kyle obviously talking to like, Jake, where he's basically like, this is what's gonna go on and everything. He can split his souls into different dolls and now they could be anywhere. Next is where it gets really scary, which is I'm assuming a like UPS or like, delivery driver basically closing the back doors on a truck full of good guy dolls or Chucky dolls. And now this is really confusing kind of, because maybe this is obviously this delivery driver delivering these dolls to where Chucky's Endgame is going to take place, where the final arena finale, like, arena battle is going to take place between obviously Andy, Kyle, Junior, Jake, all of those people and everything, where the final fight's going to take place. And all these dolls are being pretty much shipped to that location. Or, and now this is a really reachable, or this is a really big reach of a theory, is maybe this is going to be the cliffhanger ending to the episode going into season 2, which I will have a like, full length video talking about the details that we do have so far on a possible season 2 for Chucky later on this week. But my theory basically is that near the end of the episode, there will still be more, like, tons of Chucky dolls that they do not destroy, and before the episode ends, there will basically be a scene of all these Chucky dolls being shipped out all over the United States or to a bunch of different places, and that's what's going to take place in season 2, is Jake, Andy, Kyle, and all of them trying to go across the country and kill all like, the rest of the dolls, which I think would be personally really interesting, and in my opinion is a pretty good theory on where these dolls can be going, unless they're going, like I said, to the final battle arena place where Chucky's Endgame plan is going to take place. But I want to make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. We also get to see a glass breaking on the ground, and yet again there isn't much that could like pinpoint what's exactly going on in this scene, but we do get to see some of that kind of wrap on the table that was obviously around Lexy's house, since obviously it's like being fixed now and everything after the burning fire that happened in I think episode 5 or 4. So this might be Lexy's house, and maybe when Chucky, Kyle, and like Jake and Lexy all versing each other and everything, and then that's when like shit's gonna start going down. This is why the glass breaks on the ground, because like I said, there isn't really much of a thing to tell what's going on in this scene 100%. In this scene, Junior is also holding a knife up in the air and everything, possibly to someone's throat, or like, threatening someone, which could be to Andy, since obviously Andy is at Junior's house like we saw in the end of episode 7. So this could be Junior threatening Andy, and then this is when we're getting like, a Junior, Chucky versus Andy fight, which like I said, I'm very hyped for, which I guarantee it's gonna happen. This could be like, maybe Andy trying to talk Junior down, saying he's gotten in your head, he's not who he says he is and everything, and you need to come with me. And then Junior's like, no, I don't believe you, and puts like a knife to Andy's throat, or just like points a knife towards him, because I couldn't imagine anymore why Junior would have a knife up in the scene, other than like, Andy breaking into his house and that whole situation happening and going down. And the next thing we do get to see Jake and Lexy basically looking terrifying down at something, and obviously we do get to see that wrap in the background, which pretty much solidifies a lot of the other like, scenes in this trailer that had wrap around a house. Is obviously Lexy's house, where basically, like I said, like, it's under repair, duh. But what they are they're looking at is, I do honestly think they're looking at maybe Kyle said something kind of like, crazy, or I do think they're looking at that Chucky doll that obviously awoke inside their house. And now this might be what they're looking at in this next shot, which is obviously Chucky coming through some of that wrap or bubble wrap and everything. And we did get to see an earlier shot in the trailer where basically it was already through the wrap, so I'm assuming this is where like, obviously it's gonna be like, Jake, Kyle, Lexy versus like, that Chucky doll. It's revealing itself that's alive, which I don't know why this really brings me back to Bride of Chucky, when like, Chucky was coming through like, the kind of wrap or like, shower curtain, and like, after or before more so he pushed the TV into the bathtub to end up killing like, Tiffany, which like, this really brought me back to that entire situation in Bride of Chucky. Next is where things start to get really crazy, which is basically Lexy's mom screaming inside the theater with popcorn in her hand, because obviously, if you guys do not know, in episode 7, Lexy's mom as mayor basically announced that there's gonna be a movie night, a horror scary movie night of, I think, Frankenstein in one of the theaters in Hackensack. So I'm assuming she's most likely screaming at either a dead body, or she's screaming at maybe Chucky, who's gonna like, maybe this is gonna be the Endgame arena where like, the multiple Chuckies are gonna like, come down on is the theater. Maybe Lexy's mom's looking down at a Chucky and screaming, or maybe, like I said, it could be a dead body. But I do think this theater is gonna be the Endgame, like, big last, like, Endgame arena where Chucky dolls and like, versus Andy, Kyle, Jake, Lexy, Devon, and like obviously Junior. And man, please for a finale, you could really make this finale by fucking killing like, Lexy's mom off. Please, she's been such an asshole to everyone. We'd also get to see Tiffany stabbing down or like, in the middle of a fight with someone. And I do believe this is like, during the like, fight that we did see in the beginning of the trailer with Nica, and obviously then like, Tiffany overpowers Nica and tries to like, kill her then. Although this might be in the theater, I don't know. Tell me about the background behind Tiffany. This could be inside the theater also. I'm not 100% sure, which would be really cool to see Tiffany in that Endgame arena with Chucky and all of them. And we'd also get to see Nica screaming up and everything at what I'm assuming is Tiffany stabbing down at her, maybe stabbing down to someone else and killing someone else, maybe Devon, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But this Nica versus like, Tiffany fight will definitely be one to remember, and will be, like I said, it is a long time coming after like, Tiffany basically taking like, Nica hostage for this amount of time. We'd also get to see another amazing model or doll of like, Chucky or a good guy doll or anything, and this doll looks absolutely fucking terrifying and just really cool in my opinion. And I honestly can't wait to see this doll and the other dolls in action, especially like I said, since there's like hundreds of them. But this doll is wielding a knife, and I'm assuming this, like I said, this will be during the Endgame arena of like, like I said, of Chucky's final big plan. And I do wonder who he's pointing the knife at, like who will be the unlucky person that's to like, run away from her or fight him. And in this next really insane shot, you basically get Jake screaming Chucky's name, declaring wars, saying like, come fight me, you coward. Or he doesn't say that, but he basically does scream Chucky, trying to get Chucky's attention from possibly killing someone else. And this is taking place inside the movie theater, which obviously, like I said, the mayor or Lexy's mom did declare, saying they're gonna have like, movie night inside a theater, like, and obviously, like I said, this is most likely where the big final finale Endgame fight where Chucky's like, final play is gonna come into action, where he's basically like, all of them are gonna fight inside this big theater, which will be really cool, and I honestly cannot wait to see. But this scene is absolutely awesome with Jake basically screaming out, Chucky! Chucky! And in the last and final shot of the trailer, we do basically get Chucky lunging at Jake and basically knocking him on the ground of the theater and basically wielding a knife, and Jake does legitimately look like absolutely fucking terrifying in this shot. Like maybe something might happen where like maybe all the Chucky dolls start surrounding him possibly, but we're finally gonna get like a Jake versus Chucky one-on-one fight. And I do wonder if this is the Chucky doll that was in that other shot, which I'd be really excited for, like complete angry psychotic Chucky, which we have not yet seen in this like, series or in the season so far in the show at all, which is something that was really missing that like I liked about the past movies, which is psychotically angry Chucky, which is really scary version of Chucky. And honestly, man, I cannot wait for this Endgame arena, Endgame fight that Chucky has in store for us with like, this 8th and finale episode of season 1. So that's my breakdown for the Chucky episode 8 trailer for the episode In a Fair to Dismember. And this trailer was absolutely fucking absolutely astonishing, because we got to see Kyle meeting Jake and Lexy. We got to see Andy possibly going into Junior's house and having a fight with Junior and Chucky, which will be absolutely awesome. We did get to see Nica versus Tiffany, which yet again was a very cool thing like to see and everything, like I said, because it's been building up for a while. And we did get to see the final, or what might be the final arena battle zone, where Chucky versus and Junior and Tiffany and Nica versus Andy, Jake, Lexy, and Devon, and like, Kyle and all of them, which honestly, man, I cannot wait for it, because it'll be definitely a finale of a TV show to remember, and in my opinion will just be the perfect ending to season 1. And I did have a little bit of a theory, like I did mention, with all those dolls being closed inside the delivery truck, it could be a teaser or a cliffhanger towards the season 2, where basically all Chucky dolls are shipped out across the world, and that'll be season 2, where basically Jake and all of them and like Andy and Kyle all have to go across country killing more Chucky dolls, which I'm all for. And obviously it makes sense, since obviously Devon and Jake Mike and a bunch of them no longer have any parents or even like, you know, any authority to go anywhere anymore, since obviously, like I said, they don't have parents or authority. So obviously them going across country to kill Chucky dolls doesn't sound like a bad season 2 in my opinion. But like I said, that was my breakdown for the finale, final episode of Chucky season 1, episode 8, and Affair to Dismember. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comments with like, you know, what you guys think is going to happen in the episode. What are your theories? What are you most excited to see? Because I'm excited to see absolutely everything that this episode has to offer, especially the ending fight and possibly a teaser or cliffhanger towards season 2, which I'm praying for. And dude, people keep asking like, you know, Sci-Fi USA Network or channel or anything, and like, you know, the like creator of the Chucky franchise and all the actors for season 2, which man, we want it, so please give it to us, since this season so far, like, you know, determining by numbers has been doing really well. But like I said, that was my breakdown. Expect a review from myself or anything when the episode finally premieres this Tuesday, which I honestly, like I said, cannot wait for. I know I've said a ton, but I just cannot wait for it. So yeah, that was my breakdown for the Chucky episode 8 trailer. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on Chucky and the Child's Play franchise and more horror reviews like this. Just more videos like this in general, like breakdowns, explaining videos, reviews, theories, and just more stuff like this in general. And like I said, I have a video talking about season 2 coming out sometime this week or sometime next week, which I really can't wait for because there are tons of episodes and little goodies to break down. So yeah, make sure to stick around for all of that. And yes, I will see you guys all later. Peace out, my amigos, and peace out.